this video, I'm going to be taking you behind the scenes of what a PBN network actually is and how to use it in 2019 to make sure that you get some sufficient SEO ranking. Hey everyone, this is Ruan. Welcome back to the channel where we talk about SEO and digital marketing. If you're new to the channel, make sure that you hit the subscribe button down below, and if you have a question, comment down below. I'll respond to each and every single one of them. If you're trying to get more traffic onto your website, you've probably heard of a term or phrase called buying links. And a lot of the times, these links are called private blog networks. These are little mini microsites that people build to actually boost up their SEO rankings artificially. Some call it black hat, some call it white hat. Well, in this video today, I'm going to show you behind the scenes exactly what you need to know about private blog networks and see if they're safe still in 2019. And if you stick around to the end of the video, I'm going to show you a pretty advanced technique that you've probably never heard of when it comes to private blog networks that's going to allow you to white hat ethically grow your SEO rankings. Now, private blog networks are definitely something that a lot of people have either seen as really risky or something that's a very large incentive. And the thing about it is, in the SEO community, is people tend to hide this shit. They're not telling you what their best PBNs are. They're not telling you how they're building PBNs. Some people flat out will lie in your face and still say that they don't buy links or build PBN networks, which is utter bullshit. So in this video, what I'm going to do is I have a few different questions of most commonly asked questions from either students, clients, just people watching my videos, etc. That's really going to break the myth on the PBN network. Do PBNs actually work? And to answer that question is yes. In short, they still work. But the thing is PBNs have changed a lot over time. You now can't just buy random spammy links to a website and start to get rankings. You have to be a little more strategic with how you're building your PBN network sites. Google's become a lot smarter with being able to detect this bullcrap on the internet, all these spammy links, these low-quality articles, etc. So if you're going to build a PBN network, just know, yes, they still work, and you have to really build them with efficiency. Now what you've really started to look into is relevancy. How relevant is that PBN link? If you're getting a PBN link from a completely different news website and it's not related to your business, for example, if you own a plumbing business, you want to buy links or you want to build networks that are built around home improvement and home services. You wouldn't want to get a link from something that has to do with automotive because a lot of the times that makes no sense for your website. And that is the easiest way to get an irrelevant link on your website. So if you're building links right now that aren't relevant to your site, what's going to happen is you're not going to see these major keyword improvements regardless of the domain authority of the website or the domain rank. So to answer that question, yes, they still work. They're still in effect. A ton of different websites are using them. And if you're in a local market and you can't figure out how to beat your competitor in those search engine rankings, it's likely because they're using a PBN network to power up their rankings. And you really got to think about it this way. What other way is there to build links like that on Google search engine with a local business? I can see if you're a bigger business or if you're a brand or if you're something that is getting links very naturally or distributing content along those lines. But a lot of the times, if you're a small mom or pop business, if you own a small painting business, if you own a small flower shop, likely you're not going to get those links that the big brands are getting, such as Forbes.com, Entrepreneurinc.com, etc. Now, there's way better ways to build links with PBNs, but I do want to make this very clear with this video that they still do work. If you agree with me, leave a comment down below. I'd love to know your thoughts on if PBNs still work or if you've had an experience with private blog networks that you want to share. So now that you know that they work, can buying links actually harm your website's SEO? The real answer is maybe. And the reason why I say maybe is because I was recently hit with a bunch of negative links on my website, and we've still not seen a Google penalty from it. We disavowed the links. We took care of it all. It wasn't a problem. But the question is can they still hurt your website? The short answer is yes, but the long answer is not if you're an idiot, right? If you're an idiot, then obviously your website's going to get penalized. But if you're building quality links, if you're building links that are going to grow over time, and these links are assets to your business, and it's not just a wham, bam, thank you, ma'am link, then you're going to see results. They're not going to penalize your website because of a high-quality domain. And this is the reason why I recommend if you're going to do any type of PBN network building, like I said, there's easier ways to build links, which I'm going to share with you in this video. But not only is there better ways to build links, but if you're going to build them, make sure that you create these long-term assets online. These are other websites that generally have the same topic as your website, but you start to build up power and authority to just use it for your own website. And as long as you stick to that kind of motto and you make your PBN an actual money site, an actual site that has value to the visitor, an actual site that has value to the user, technically speaking, you can do whatever the hell you want with links. So Google Webmaster Team always says, there's this type of thing and this thing going on with links, but as long as you have your own money asset and you're linking out to highly relevant articles and topics, it's going to look as natural as can be. They still work and they're still in very much effect. So can they harm your site? Absolutely. If you're doing a lot of links that have over-anchor optimization, which we're going to talk about a few topics down, but if you're really doing these types of things and you're targeting the keyword Miami, Florida painter, Miami, Florida painter, Miami, Florida painter from the same PBN network or different types of PBNs, that's the fastest way to get penalized and get caught by Google or anybody that's trying to take your website down. So the first thing that you've really got to understand is when you're building out these anchor texts, make them as natural as possible, and we'll get into that topic in a few seconds here. So what does a PBN network actually look like? A PBN network basically is a bunch of links that people use to point right back to their money site to grow their artificial rankings. So what does one actually look like? Well, the key is to a PBN network is to disguise that anybody can find out if it's a PBN or not. So in fact, what people will do is they'll make their PBNs look pretty. They'll take their PBNs shopping. They'll give their PBN makeup. And what they'll do is they'll make it pretty so that people like yourself or competitors can actually figure out what the damn thing looks like. So the goal with a PBN network is to make it pretty and make sure that Google's crawling machines can't go out there and figure out, hey, this is a PBN, and smack your website down. So generally speaking, if you're working with a professional or if you're looking at a market and you check their backlink profile, and you can do this easily by throwing in the domain into Ahrefs, going to referring domains, looking at all of the domains that are linking to your competitor's site, and if one of them looks like just a blog with a bunch of random content on it linking to different places, you've likely found a PBN network. Now the beauty of this is if you found one PBN, it's likely that you're going to find multiple PBNs. So if you check the referring domains of that PBN and you find more links like this, you've just caught yourself a PBN network. That's exactly what it looks like. It's a bunch of websites intersyncing together with the main goal of powering up other websites. Millions of people use it. It's a very common tactic, but if you really want to see what a PBN looks like, go to your competitor in a local market. If you're doing clients, go to your clients' competitor and simply search their backlink portfolio, and there you'll find a million different PBN networks, if you find them at all, right? Most of the markets that you're going to see this with are markets that are more competitive, such as Dallas, New York City, different types of markets like San Francisco. If you're in a small town and you're working with things like that, it's likely that you're not going to have someone doing an aggressive PBN network. Just curious to know, what was the most obvious PBN network strategy that you've ever seen? I'm sure you guys have great things to tell me. So why wouldn't somebody even use a PBN network? Well, the short answer is because they want website rankings. Nobody would use a PBN network if it didn't deliver results. There wouldn't be millions of people out there selling links to different types of websites for clients, for different types of businesses, if they didn't work. And the bottom of the line is if you're going to build a PBN network and you're going to use it for yourself, just know that the end goal is to boost your website rankings with these different types of websites. Why wouldn't somebody build white hat links? Why wouldn't somebody do guest posting? Why wouldn't somebody do natural link building, etc.? Well, the answer is they don't want to wait more than 2 years to see website rankings inside of Google. And the unfortunate truth is that PBNs are here to last. They're going to last a very long time as far as I can see, because I've seen some that just don't even look like PBNs. They're legitimate money sites. And you want to start to wonder, okay, well, why would people want to use it if it could potentially damage your website? Well, it's because if you're a small business, you're likely not going to receive those big national links from Forbes, et cetera, and things like that. So you have to go down the route of purchasing links to get more domain authority, more SEO ranking in the short term, for the long term as well, though, because that is the end game with the SEO strategy that you want to do. Can competitors report or find your PBN network? So if you're in a local market and you're curious, but because of what I told you before, to start looking for these different types of referring domains, you may be wondering, can a competitor actually find my PBN network and take it down by reporting it to Google? The answer is yes. Unfortunately, the answer is yes, they can. They can find your links and submit them into Google as spam, etc., and Google will take a look at the network and penalize that network. And I've seen it happen multiple times inside of different Facebook groups. It's never happened to me personally because, to be very honest with you, I'm not a big bang PBN guy. But what I'll tell you is that people get slammed all of the time by competitors for using PBNs. There's a lot of different things that you can do when it comes to slamming a competitor, and finding their network and reporting it to Google is definitely one of them. Now, if you're in a market where obviously it's just a fake site and it's like a rank and rent site, and this is why I don't recommend to do rank and rent, right? You find a rank and rent site, you see that it's outranking you or your clients, report it. Because at the end of the day, that site has no use, it's not a real business, and those sites are really easy to take down, and generally speaking, rank and rent sites are powered by PBNs. So if you find a rank and rent site and you check out its referring domains, just know that your competitors can report that into Google, or if your strategy, your SEO strategy is 100% built based on PBNs, just know that it's an inefficient strategy because all it takes is one competitor to go through your link portfolio, report your PBN, and there is your network completely lost. Now, there are some very smart SEOs who hide the Ahrefs link portfolio or SEMrush's link portfolio or any of these other websites that display backlinks so you can't see their PBN network. In that case scenario, it's going to be a lot harder to report something that you don't even know exists. If you're in a very competitive market, you'll see that people actually block the robot.txt file from getting those links displayed on places like Ahrefs. So if you're in that type of market and someone's ranking for no goddamn reason, it's probably because they're using hidden PBNs. So what should you look out for if you're either building a PBN network or if you're searching for a competitor's PBN network? Well, to simply put it, I had my analogy on the makeup before, so you kind of understand that. Now you may want to know, okay, how do I actually build one, or how do I look at one that's not going to get penalized, or how can I easily identify one that's going to get, not going to get penalized? Well, the easiest way is this. If you look at a referring domain portfolio and you look at these links and you come across a blog, generally speaking, this blog is not secured. This blog has no logo. This blog is filled with just a bunch of bullshit spam. And this blog is linking to a money site of some type of customer or some type of website. And that anchor is usually the exact keyword. You've likely got a PBN on your hands. And that's what it looks like. It's a blog with a bunch of content on the homepage, and it just has a bunch of spammy links, a bunch of spammy articles, etc., with no logo, no anything, no security on site, slow website speed, basic WordPress theme, literally the most basic you can get, no who-is information, none of that type of stuff. You likely have yourself a PBN network. And that's what they'll generally look like. They'll generally just be websites with a bunch of content on the home page. And that's because the way people set them up, the way people that use PBN set them up is they make sure that the blogs are all on the home page of the website. So those links go to the actual money site of that. And I'll explain a little bit about how you can actually set up a PBN network. And am I encouraging it? Am I telling you that it's going to bring you all the traffic and rankings that you want? No, to be honest with you, I use guest paid posting. It's much faster for me. The links are much more high quality, and people are going to stick there forever. But if you are starting out and you don't have a name for yourself, it may be difficult to start doing this guest posting. Or if you're in a vertical such as pest control, or in a vertical like that, or you're working with a customer, you really can't guest post. There's really nothing exciting about that type of business. You still can, but building a PBN network is going to be much faster for you. So to answer that question, they just basically have a bunch of content on the home page, all used for the purpose of artificially boosting a website's rankings. If you're going to build a PBN network, you need to understand RSOS, reverse sync or swim. Reverse sync or swim works like this. If you get a link from a money site that has painting in the title tag or in the URL of that domain, you're going to get a significant ranking boost for any painting-related keywords. Now, just like the exact match domains still work and partial match domains still work, meaning if you put your keyword into your URL, you're going to get a significant ranking boost because of that. Just the same thing works when you build backlinks. If you have the keyword inside of your title, if you have the keyword inside of the URL of the PBN or of the referring domain that you're getting to your money site, you're going to see a significant ranking boostings. This works especially good for people who are in local markets who want to rank for places like, let's say, Manhattan, New York. Well, if you're getting links from websites that mention Manhattan, New York inside of the URL, inside of the title tag, inside of the content, likely you're going to beat any of your competitors that try to use very general PBNs. Long time ago, you were able to just use general PBNs, and they still work, But if you're going to be guest posting, if you're going to be getting backlinks from these different types of places, it is incredibly important that you understand RSOS, reverse sink or swim. And if you want to check out more information about that, go check out Gregory Morrison over at OMG. They have a lot of great information when it comes to building out PBN networks and using RSOS. So I hope you enjoyed that quick tip. A lot of SEOs in the market have replaced the PBN with something called a 301 redirect. A 301 redirect is basically when you take one domain and permanently redirect it to another domain. Now you may be wondering, why is that important? Why would an SEO want to know that? Well, a lot of the times when you take a domain like this one, such as the person that's going to be referring to the new site, when you take this one here, it passes along its page rank. So what a lot of people do, they'll buy up and they'll soak up these little expired domains, and then they'll start 301 redirecting them to their site in hopes of SEO rankings and SEO boosts. Do I know that this actually works? God, yes, it works. It's pretty simple. You rank a website with the exact match phrase of the keyword that you want to rank, and then you 301 it to a money site, therefore mitigating your risk on building out PBN networks and seriously getting some really massive ranking boosts. Now, you've got to be careful, though, because a lot of people think that you can take a domain that's not already registered and not hosted, and it's not a real website, and just 301 it and extract the domain juice like that. But that's not the case being. You want to make sure that it's indexed in Google. You want to make sure that it's live. You want to make sure that you build content on it, because when you do go make the 301 redirect, it's going to pass over that page rank, and Google's not going to take a second look at it. Make it very natural how it's supposed to be. Now, what you do is if you just take a domain, buy it, 301 redirect it to your site, you may see a little results. I'm not sure if you'll see results with that, but I can tell you this right now, it's not going to be as effective as actually putting out a website and taking ownership of it to your new money site. Companies do 301 redirects all the time. For example, if I was a moving company and I was buying smaller moving companies in my local area, well, the natural thing for me to do as a business owner would be to 301 redirect all of those little companies that I buy to my big website. And by doing that, it's going to pass on the page rank of those websites because they had existing SEO done to it. And this is primarily the reason why I recommend anybody that's getting started in digital marketing always goes for an expired domain or an expiring domain to start ranking almost instantly so you're not in Google's sandbox. But if you're not going to take the 301 redirect approach when you're building out PBN networks or getting links, you really need to understand optimizing for anchor text. Anchor text is basically the hyperlink that someone sends out from their website to your website, and that phrase that they use to hyperlink out is very important for your SEO rankings. And I want to explain a few different types of anchor text, a few different types of hyperlinks that people are going to send out to you so you can be really prepared in terms of building out your PBN rankings or anything along those lines. So let's start off with the first one that I always recommend people start with. It's called branded. My digital marketing agency, Develomark, it's called Develomark. So if people are linking from other websites to my agency and using the branded anchor phrase Develomark, that's going to build a trust signal inside of Google because other people are referencing not the keyword. A lot of people will just start stuffing keywords. That's absolutely ridiculous. You should never do that. What they'll do is they'll start using Develomark, and Google will start to see that branded signal and start to associate my agency name with the topical relevance of the website that's referring to mine. Now, if you're a little bit confused, it works this way. If someone mentions your name in real life and they say, hey, this is Ruan Marinho, well, they just gave you a branded anchor text in real life because they've just introduced you to somebody else, and now they know that you're Ruan Marinho. But in another situation, if I was introduced as the guy down the street, well, now my website or me, I'm going to be known as the guy down the street, not Ruan Marinho. Google works the same way. It's all about the introductions that are being made in and out of these other websites. So you've really got to leverage branded anchor text to your advantage when you're building out these links. The second one is called a naked URL. People use this a lot. Naked URLs are very natural. Most of the times when you're building out links or you're getting very natural links, if you're going the natural SEO approach, is you're going to get a naked URL. And a naked URL is just your URL slapped on another website, hyperlinked to your site. That's the anchor text on that. Very healthy to have naked URL links because a lot of these directory sites will give you a naked URL link. They won't give you a keyword link. So a good way to start fluffing up for PBN traffic is to build out your directories so you have all of these naked URL links already coming onto your website. And the third one is keyword. If you're just targeting something such as Miami, Florida dentist, well, then you should link out with Miami, Florida dentist. But the key is you want to make sure that you have a nice mix of branded, of exact match, and of naked URL. And because of this, once you do that, Google's not really going to look at if you have all of these links from Miami, Florida dentist. That would just be spam, and it's clearly there that you artificially built your links if you're sending out all of these anchor texts. So when you're building out your links, try to use a mixture, a healthy mixture, 33%, 33%, 33% of naked URL, branded, and keyword targeted. A lot of the times if you're building links naturally, you're not going to have the ability to keyword target, and it's going to be branded and naked URL, but that's where you take that 33%, invest in buying links, invest in building your own links, and you're going to see a massive SEO benefit because of that. So now you should probably understand link velocity, which is basically the amount of links that you get over a period of time. Now, does Google really think that that's a ranking factor? Is that really important to getting your website up in terms of organic traffic? And the answer is yes. And bringing it back to people, because that's what Google's algorithm really is based off of, if a lot of people started saying, hey, meet my friend Ruan Marinho inside of a small school, inside of a small public school, high school, middle school, elementary school, it doesn't matter what it is. If people started mentioning my name a lot inside of a school, guess what's going to happen? I'm going to become popular because a lot of people are going to be like, who is this Ruan Marinho guy? Why is everybody introducing Ruan Marinho to me? And what's going to happen is it's the same thing with link velocity. If you have a domain that hasn't gotten a link in 10 years, well, it's likely not going to rank as much as a domain that's been consistently getting 2 or 3 links a month for 10 years, right? That's the key concept of link velocity that you need to understand. If you're going to become popular, which is the goal of the internet, is to make your website become popular so you get more organic traffic, you're going to have to invest in link velocity. And the best way to do this is making sure that you have a content marketing strategy on hand for building out these domains, if you're going to use PBN networks, or having a consistent flow of guest post links for your website. So understanding link velocity, it's the same thing as if a lot of people started introducing you in a small area. You're going to become popular very quickly. You're going to become top of mind very quickly. So link velocity is by far one of the most important ranking factors when it comes to search engine optimization, especially if you're using PBNs. Because a lot of people, they'll take a PBN, they'll use it, and then they'll never use it again, and then it'll just stale for like 5 years, just sitting there, these links, and then they wonder why they're on the 4th page of Google. And last but not least, here is an advanced PBN linking strategy that has the ability to skyrocket your rankings literally in less than a month. And the goal here is to use the PBN as the bridge to the website. And let me give you a very clear example so you can envision in your mind exactly what this looks like. And when you're doing this, your goal is to not send links to your money site, but rather send links to an exact match domain and power that exact match domain up with your target keyword, and then 301 that domain to your actual money site, but only send PBN links, guest post links, whatever links that you're sending to the actual PBN that's already 301 redirect. In a few seconds or a few minutes before, I talked about page rank transferring over when it comes to a domain rank or when it comes to a 301 redirect. So if you redirect the domain, and you've already done that, start sending PBN links to the actual 301 redirect link, because it's going to pass over the page rank to your website, and it's going to make it highly impactful for that exact match anchor phrase due to RSOS. So if you've enjoyed this video, if you've thought that this video was helpful, please leave a comment down below, consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys in the next video.